If you're a serious Divi designer, what is the first thing that you do before you design any website? Well, I'll tell you what it is. You need to set up what is known as a design system. Well, the design system sits over here. So you go to your variable manager, you set up all your colors over here. And these are all the colors you're going to use throughout your design. Next, you also need to set up your fonts right here. The next thing you want to do is to go to the numbers and you set up all your heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, all your numbers. So literally what we're doing here is we are saying these are the ingredients that we need for us to bake our cake, which is in this case, our website. Now, once you've done that, that is when now you go in and start designing. But I have even a much better workflow using KrafterPRO. So if you click on this little icon here, it's going to take you back to our interface here for KrafterPRO. So using the same idea that I gave you, you need to start off with a design system. That's what holds your recipe, okay? Your rules for designing your website. But you see, with KrafterPRO, you get a free design system within KrafterPRO. So instead of setting up all your colors manually and spending all that time, because you see, setting up the design system is going to take you quite a bit of time, perhaps maybe even 30 minutes or even an hour. Imagine doing that every single time. It doesn't work out. So over here, we have a quick install. You go in and you install the design system. So all you need to do is to click once, boom. Design system, it's telling you how many colors are coming in. It's telling you how many presets. And I will talk about the presets because these are the sort of things that you're going to need when you design a website. All right, so it's telling us what's going to be imported. Anyway, that looks cool. Now, if there's anything that you don't want to import, you can always go in here and uncheck it, okay? By deselecting over here. But we're going to import everything. So I'm going to say confirm and import. Now, just by clicking that, you have a complete design system and it's confirmed by coming over here, design system status. So when you go there, it tells you got a neutral palette, you got semantic colors, you got primary color shades and so on. So you may be thinking, well, all right, so now that I have my design system, what if I want to change my colors? There is what is known as Brand Studio in KrafterPRO. If you come over here, here we go. We have all these colors grouped by industry. So let's say you want to build a fitness website. You'll just come over here under gym and sport. Now you can zoom in to see what color it is, okay? And then you select it. Now, do you see what has happened here? The color has been selected here right away. Now, if you want to view the rest of the ramp, you can always come over here and see all the shades that are within the design system. And this preview here is very important because you don't get it in the native Divi. Let's say you want to build an e-commerce website. You can just come over here, select, do a quick view, and those are our colors. Right. So the next thing now is once you have your colors, it's the font that you need, right? So you come over here and it automatically chooses a font for you. So over here, I've got this font. And then we come over here and this time, okay, we just want our colors only, or you can choose fonts only. It's up to you. But you know what? We're going to go for everything. But before I do that, you also have colors that work well together and they pass the contrast ratios, okay, which is fantastic. You don't need to worry about that as you're designing. So if I say apply brand, okay, now we are ready to design. Now, let me show you what is amazing in this design. So if you want to go to your page builder, you come over here to the top, click on this D, and this now takes you into the design system itself. So now that we're in the design system, and this is where you have a huge advantage if you use KrafterPRO. So let's design something very, very quick here. We're going to go in, single column, and in this column, we're going to add a text module, for example, right? We want this centered and we just want a bit of text. We don't want, all the text. Next, we're going to need, let's say, a heading. So we set it up. And for our heading, we want it centered. So let's go ahead and center this. So we're going to come over here, heading texts, and then center it. Okay. Next, we're going to need some paragraph text. So I'm going to search for my text module. and select. All right. So again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to center that, and we're going to remove a bit of this text because it's a bit too much for the description text. Okay. Right. So now that we have our text, our description text, we may need to add a button here. So I'm going to click on this plus button here, add a group. And in that group, I'm going to add 2 buttons. So I'm going to search for my button here. Now, do you see how quickly I'm going through this, right? So I'm going to go into my group settings, design, layout, and in the flex, I'm going to choose this option here and then center everything. All right. The next thing now, and this is where things get really, really, really exciting. We need to apply what are known as presets. And this again is your advantage if you use KrafterPRO, because you don't have to worry about setting up, specific values and all of that. You need to focus on presets. No more manual designing item by item. That's a thing of the past. That's what we need to do. That's what we used to do in Divi 4. So what you do now for our heading here, or for our hero area, you want to click once, and perhaps you want to add some padding to this. So I'm going to come over here and let's go with large. Okay. Now, just by doing that, we've entered our spacing, which is responsive. Next, for this row, this is a text row, okay? We don't want it too wide because our text here needs to be easy to read. So I'm going to select this and then come over here to my content, in fact, to my row. And then I'm going to say text width. Now, do you see how everything was compacted? Now, this is looking great. The next thing we're going to do now is to go in and use our presets. I'm going to select my text, and then I'm going to come over here to the top, and this is going to be, okay, let's go with label. How about that? So we're going to go in and choose label, and we need to center it. So we need to look for our sizing and alignment. Okay, so now it's centered. Next, for our text here, we want it, nice and big. So I'm going to select heading, and then over here, I'm going to choose small. Okay. If I want, I can go with a much bolder look, medium. All right. Now, do you see how easy it is? I'm going to show you in a moment why this is really powerful. Next, I'm going to come over here to my paragraph text, and I'm just going to map this to body. Now we have our buttons. The second button here, I just need to map this to outline. So now that we have this, the next thing we're going to do is to go in and choose our image. So I'm going to go to my background, and then I'm going to go into my background image here, and let's choose an image. Do I have any images? No. So I'm going to go to upload files, and then I'm going to look for an image to add in the background. So for our image here, we're going to pretend that this is some sort of an adventure type website. So let's go ahead and add our background image, and we're going to choose our file and click upload image. All right. So now, so far, so good. We have our image in the background. Now, you can also make a decision here to make this full width. So I'm going to come over here and say full. Now it's covering the whole page. All right, which is fantastic. So as you can see, our contrast here doesn't look good. So we need to go in and fix that. So I'm going to go back in here into our main heading. And now I want to show you something really cool. So when it comes to your colors, you need to come over here and search for inverse. And there we go, text inverse. So this here just makes sure that all your text is going to be easy to read on a dark background. We're going to do the same for our body text. Come in here. For our color here, we're going to search for inverse. And there we go. Right. So our buttons here, I think they're okay. We'll just leave them as they are. So far we've moved really fast. We now have an image here in our background. But as you're looking at this, you'll be probably thinking, well, what if I want to add another section? We could continue on and design how we were designing. Okay. But KrafterPRO has a fantastic feature, and it's called frames. If I come over here to frames, maybe I want to add a features section. So if I select features, okay, and then close out of here, it has been added to the bottom here. Do you see that? And this is abiding by the colors of our branding. Okay, so this is working with our branding colors. I mean, this is amazing. So now let's hit save. Now you see, a lot of designers, sometimes you get a job, you're working on it and you're thinking, all right, so I need to finish this job quickly. There's no time to go into each and every item here and try and find out if it was designed correctly, right? So in KrafterPRO, there's a tool called Design Assist. And this is fantastic. All you need to do is to click over here on Design Assist. And this tells you what is wrong with your design. So over here, I can see I'm off the mark. I'm not yet at 100%. So I need to find out what the issue is. So I can click here under headings and it's telling me here I need to use KH1. Okay, so if I click in, it'll tell me where the issue is. Do you see how it went and made a border around where the issue is? That is now telling me where it needs to be fixed. But you see, it doesn't only just do that. If you click in, it also gives you exactly where you need to go and change it. So I'm going to come over here. It's asking me to do KH1. Okay. I'm going to say, in fact, I can just say apply to fixes. And now it's giving me a score of 100. You see that? And then, of course, I need it centered. And we are good to go. So now I know my page here is, it's good to go. I may need to change this as well, make it white. So let's go back to text and then change this to white or inverse. Excellent. Oops. And then we go into the border. And let's look for a color as well. And let's go for inverse. There we go. All right. So now that we have that, I'm going to hit save. Now to improve the contrast here, we can click on the image here, go to our section, and then over here, we are going to go to our background color. Okay. And then we're going to choose black. This is the only moment where you can go in and choose black without using your presets. So on the website, on the image here, I'm going to go in and choose my, where are we? My blend. So we're going to go with multiply, and then you can see everything has gone dark. And then we go back to the color, and we just need to lower our opacity. Do you see that? So we can just lower it down a little bit so our text really stands out. Okay, so we're going to go with 40. Okay, and then hit save. And now we have a really nice section, and we also have this area here. So as you're looking at this, you're, okay, I've talked about a few things. I've spoken about Design Assist. I've spoken about frames and how cool that is. I've also spoken about KrafterPRO. So let's say you want to add another section below here. Perhaps it's the pricing section, right? No problem. You just come over here to frames, and then you can add your pricing over here, just like that. And you can see, okay, let's click away, and there we go. It has been added. You see that? And then all you have to do is to go into the background here, and then we're going to choose a subtle background. There we go. You see that? So I'm going to hit save. All right. So now that we've saved this, I want to show you something very, very exciting. Let's say you want to rebrand this, change the colors all around, and go with something a bit more earthy, right? We're going to go back to KrafterPRO. Okay. So we're going to do a rebrand. So I'm going to come over here to Brand Studio, and let's go in and choose a color which is a bit more outdoorish. So what I'm going to go with is, let's see. Okay, let's try hospitality because I like the colors here. Okay, so you can see my colors here have changed. So if I go in now, I can leave this as it is if I need to. It doesn't really matter, but I want to show you how powerful this is. I'm going to say apply brand. And now if I go back and refresh, notice what happens. My colors have changed here. When I go down, do you see that the colors have changed as well? My text has changed. And when I go to this section here, everything has changed. You see that? That is really cool. So perhaps you may say, you know what? I don't like the font, right? Well, that's fine. If you don't like the font, we can just change it over here. And this time, let's choose Manrobe, okay? And then I'm going to say, I want font only, okay? I don't want to write everything, okay? I just want to do the fonts only. Apply brand. Come back to my site here, refresh. Now, keep an eye on my headings here. Refresh. There we go. My headings have changed. Just changed over here. And then you say, okay, you know what? I want to change the colors again. You go back. And then for the colors now, this time I want to go with, let's go with this one here. Education, for example. And I need the colors only. Then I'm going to say apply. Now back over here, if we refresh, you see our colors are going to change. And sure enough, our colors have changed. You can see there. So this is a really, really huge advantage. Now, I've only covered the design aspect of it. Now, did you know that KrafterPRO actually works with AI? You can actually design your websites using AI. I've done a few videos showing you how to do that. So over here is where you get all your files that you give the AI. So if you click on the AI tab, you have your Nova Mirror. This is what we're supporting so far. Nova Mirror, you give it this design.md file. And as Nova Mirror, as you're giving it all the instructions from Claude Code or from ChatGPT, it looks at this file to make sure that it's not giving you static values, because we want to make sure that our design is consistent and very easy to manage. So if you give this file, then you're good to go. And then there's more files here. There's also a Nova Mirror skill, right? So we're telling this website how it needs to design, which is brilliant. Okay, there's AI context and so on. So this is ready for AI, ready for AI. So let's say you've done all that work, you know, everything is all good. Now you want to deliver this to the client. You come over here to deliver. Okay, first of all, you can fill in this handoff form. So this is where you add the project name, the client name, all this information here for your client. Now that you've finished the job, you can go in and fill in as much information as you want. But you know what? We're not going to spend time filling that in. So I'm going to say save as PDF. Okay. Now, do you see that this is the file now, or the document that you give your client? So it has the live URL, it has the admin URL, so it has everything that the client needs. Divi theme, child theme, no, templates, you know. It tells you what plugins are active. So this is like a report for the complete website. And all this is within KrafterPRO, right? Here, you can run a test, you know, for your design health. So let's say you're working on an existing website and the website could have quite a lot of issues, right? So how are you going to know? There's no way you're going to know. You need to run a scan. So over here, we can say scan website. So right away, you can see it's done very well. It's gone to 97. But if it's not at 97, guess what? This is going to tell you everything that's wrong with your website. And what you need to do is to click on modernize website. So when you come over here now, it's going to tell you what issues you have. So on this design page, I'm going to say show, and now it's telling me what the issues are. Oh, okay. So I haven't applied my auto grid, right? So that's something I need to do. And over here, the theme builder as well, there's auto fix. I can go in and apply this. And these changes here that I'm applying are going to be updated on the actual website. And now, if I go back to design health, we can now see that we're at 100%, right? So this is pretty cool. So back over here on the deliver tab, you can see now my client health report is there. If I generate it, in fact, let's do a preview. It's easier that way. So now it's telling us, okay, the website is called Nova Mirror. The summary is telling us the site currently sits, and I mean, it just tells you everything, right? And then it tells you if there was a progress to get to the 100% of the health score, everything will be shown here on the graph. And you can see here, everything is, it's telling you everything that's to do with the website. So these are the sort of documents that make it very, very impressive when you work with your client. Okay. Over here, we have protect. Now, this here is also very, very powerful. Now, design guide, let's say you've designed your website, you're giving it to the client, or a part of your team is working on it. If they go in and add static values instead of clamp, this will tell you. Design guide will tell you who has done it, where it's happening, and so on, making sure that your websites are consistent. We also have snapshots. So let's say you're working and something goes wrong. You can also, download a snapshot, or you can roll back to the last working point. Let's say these colors, or you've done something that's not correct. You can just go back and roll back. And you can set here how many snapshots you want to do. So perhaps you want maybe 10 snapshots. And as you're making major changes, these will be updated over here, which is brilliant. Now, the activity. The activity here will tell us exactly what's happening. You can see here, this is when I applied my text font. And here I also did a rebrand. So it's telling me with the timestamps what I did, right? And if you're connected with AI, you can go to your MCP and it will tell you your MCP or AI activities. So this just gives you an idea of what is happening on the actual site you're working on. This is super powerful. Now, let's say you want to save your design system. You go to deliver and then you go to the export tab. This is where you can save everything. Let me just refresh the list here. Okay, right. So you can name the design system. So perhaps you want to create the design system and share it with your team. You can just name it here, download it, send it to your team, come over here to build, and then you drag and drop it in here, and it is on your system. This makes the designing of websites with Divi 5 much easier. You can manage everything in here. You can import all the presets. You can export your design systems. You can also design with our frames, which are our sections, and that library is going to grow massively. It's going to have sections for pretty much anything, even marketing, your thank you pages, your opt-in pages, you name it. We are going to have it in there. We are really working very hard to build this, and it also comes with a community. If you purchase KrafterPRO, it comes with a community. You're going to be part of a community. And also we have these fortnightly calls where we do Q&As, we discuss what issues you're having with your website and so on. So you have a community of full support. This is the future of web design with Divi 5. If you haven't purchased KrafterPRO, go ahead and do so. You'll not regret it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.